Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about the best holiday that I've ever been on, and that was a walking trip that I did at the start of this year at the end of February, where me and a group of other people flew to Morocco and we climbed Toubkal, which is the tallest peak in North Africa. So if you are someone that is into walking or mountain climbing and is looking for a little bit of a challenge, then I highly recommend going to Toubkal, and hopefully I'll be able to share my experience in this video, and yeah, hope you enjoy. So I thought what would be fun to start off with is a little bit of a slideshow video montage of the photos and videos that I managed to get whilst we were on our trip. I didn't actually manage to get that much. I was trying to live in the moment a little bit and didn't want to be on my phone all the time. So, and also the conditions didn't really allow for you to be on your phone. So yeah, I managed to get a few little bits. So I thought I would insert them here first, and then I will go into more detail about the trip after you've watched it. So now you've seen from the videos what absolutely stunning views you can see when you're climbing Toubkal. I thought I would talk to you in a little bit more detail about how we managed to go and have this experience, why we've done it, and just a little bit more detail about the actual trip itself, just in case you might be thinking of going and doing something similar. So I basically have a group of friends who are all into walking, same as me. We like climbing mountains, basically very outdoorsy and like challenging ourselves. So this was the perfect opportunity that came up to go and try something a little bit different. So one of my friends saw this climb advertised on a page called All Terrain Adventures on Facebook. I will link his page down below in the description box just in case you would like to go and check it out for yourself. He basically sorted out the whole trip for us. I think we had to sort out our own flights, but everything else while we were out there was all sorted by him. So after we booked on, there were a couple of things that we needed to do in order to prep for the mountain. We had a kit list sent over to us with loads of kit on that we needed to buy. Some of the stuff we already had from other mountains and walks that we'd done, but there were a few new pieces that we needed to add to the collection. I binge watched every Toubkal video that there was on YouTube just to give me a bit of an idea of what to expect. I'd never been abroad to climb a mountain before, so I wanted to kind of have as much information as possible before I went out there. And breaking the kit in as well was really important because we needed new boots to be able to go and climb this mountain. We needed to make sure that we'd broken the boots in properly before taking them out there. Obviously, when you're on these sorts of treks, you're spending a lot of hours in them, and you need to make sure that they are comfortable and not going to cause you any blisters. So then we had everything prepped and ready to go, and we flew out to Morocco at the end of February. When we got to the airport, we met up with everyone else in our group that we'd be doing the climb with. I think there was 18 of us in total. A few of us got there early, so we spent a day in Marrakesh just having a look around and eating a little bit of food, and then later on that evening everyone else arrived at the airport, and we met the whole group and got a coach from the airport to a little place called Imlil, which is where we stayed overnight. We had some amazing food cooked by our hosts, the people that were looking after us while we were there. I think it was actually their house, and we had beds and showers, and they really looked after us. It was amazing. So we spent our first night there before setting off for the trek up to Toubkal the next day. So then the next day we woke up and we had breakfast all cooked for us. We had Moroccan tea, pancakes, bread, jam, lots of carbs to keep us going for the day ahead of walking. And we packed all of our rucksacks, our 35-litre day rucksacks, which were big enough for us to carry water and a spare change of clothes. So that day we walked from Imlil up to the refuge hut, which was about 3,100 metres, I think, and it was 6 hours of walking. So during that 6 hours we had to actually enter the national park, where we had our passports checked and we had fresh orange juice made for us on the mountain. We got, I think, about halfway up to the refuge and then came across loads of snow, which is apparently quite unusual for you to come across snow that early on the mountain. But the weather conditions had been really bad, so we had snow quite early on, which meant we had to put our big boots on and our crampons, which basically just clip onto the bottom of your boot and allow you to grip well in ice and snowy conditions. So after 6 hours of walking, we eventually made it up to the refuge hut, which is where we stayed for the night. We took all our bags off, we were allocated beds, we were cooked for, and we sat in front of the log fire where we got warm because it was really cold walking up. Obviously, the higher you get up the mountain, the colder it gets. So we were all ready for some food and some sleep. I think it is also worth mentioning that in the refuge hut, staying over that one night, it was absolutely freezing. You could see your breath when you spoke. It wasn't the most comfortable of conditions. So I think if you're looking to go and do that climb in the winter, definitely prepare to be really cold at night. Take extra socks. I took a 2 seasons sleeping bag, I think, and it was not enough at all. I was absolutely freezing all night, so I didn't sleep for that reason. And then obviously it means that you're waking up tired the next day, and that's not ideal when you're about to go and summit. So you want to make that night in the refuge as comfortable for yourself as possible and just stay nice and warm. Another thing that some people in our group were struggling with was altitude sickness, and this is something that can affect you the higher up that you go, and if you suffer with it badly, it doesn't get better until you start to go back down again. So you can take altitude sickness tablets. That's what my little group did, and none of us really suffered too badly with it. I had a little bit of a headache, but that wasn't anything too serious. But some people can actually be sick with it and have really severe migraines and headaches, and it can affect their vision. So I think it's better to just get the altitude sickness tablets, take them just in case, especially if you've never been up that high before, and then you just know that you've kind of done everything that you can do in that scenario, because unfortunately it did stop some people in our group getting to the top. So definitely get altitude sickness tablets. You can get hold of them from Boots. You just do the online prescription and ask for altitude sickness tablets and they can sort that out for you. So super easy. And then it was summit day. So we got up at, I think it was 5 in the morning and had some breakfast, and then went straight out, put our boots and crampons on, all ready to go, all our coats and everything like that, head torches because it was really dark, and then set off for the summit. And I think it took us 4 hours to get to the summit. So it took us 4 hours to go from 3,200 metres to 4,167 metres. So it was quite a slow and steady pace. Obviously, the higher up you go, the harder it gets to breathe a little bit, and the conditions were just really bad. So we started off okay first thing in the morning, and then the longer that we were walking for, the conditions just went to pot really. It was 60-mile-per-hour winds, minus 20 degrees. So compared to Marrakesh, where it had been 20 degrees 2 days before, obviously, yeah, it took its toll. So then after 4 hours, we eventually made it to the top. I think we were all covered in ice from where the winds had kind of stuck the water to our jackets and turned it into ice. It was literally freezing. None of us wanted to really stop for photos or anything. It was just so cold. It was also amazing to reach the top, because I think a few of us in the group thought that it wasn't going to happen that day. So yeah, it was amazing to be stood at the top of the mountain. Then when we got to the top, we were there for about 15 minutes before we turned around and headed back down the mountain, back to the refuge hut. We had lunch when we got there, so I think we've been walking a total of maybe 6-7 hours at this point. So we were all starving and ready for some food. So we had some more home-cooked lunch there, and then headed back down to Imlil, where we started and had another really big meal that night, and just enjoyed chatting to everyone about the experience and congratulating each other and getting to know each other a little bit more. It was just really nice to share such a life-changing experience with a group of people that you've never even met before. 3 days before that, they were strangers, and yeah, it was just a really nice experience to share with a group of other people. So before I end the video, I just wanted to give you 3 small bits of advice from someone that's climbed the mountain. If you're looking to also do the same, I think buy and break in your own kit. Don't be borrowing other people's kit. Don't leave it last minute to start breaking things in, because if you get blisters on day 1, it's game over. And we did have one guy on the trip where, bless him, he couldn't get to the summit purely because he'd got a blister on the first day. It really is too painful to continue if you've got one. So definitely comfortable shoes. So number 2, I'd say train if you can leading up to the mountain, kind of as much as you can, because the fitter you are, the more you'll enjoy it 100%. The better you'll deal with the altitude. You won't be worrying about being out of breath or putting in so much effort to the climbing. You'll actually be able to kind of look round and take in the scenery, enjoy chatting to people. So I'd say that's a really important one. And lastly, prepare to be cold, because I've never been so cold in my life. It was freezing, an amazing experience and 100% worth being cold for, but it definitely is a bit of a shock to the system if you're not prepared for it. So if you're doing Toubkal in the winter months like we were, kind of October to February, March time, then definitely prepare for snow, ice and cold weather. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching the video. If you are thinking about climbing Toubkal and have any questions, then please feel free to leave them in the comments down below and I will answer them for you. It's the most amazing experience and you will not regret going if you decide to book on. So yeah, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.